Hello everyone, Chris here, and today I want to talk to you about something very specific, and that is lunges. And the reason why I want to talk about lunges is that I have noticed something often lately, and it has to do with the way I lunge at survivors. I kind of refer to this as the reverse lunge, and in my experience, this almost always hits the survivors. I would say like 80% of the cases, I do get to hit the survivors around loops. So I started to wonder, why is that? Is it just pure luck? Is it the survivors that I meet? Is it ping? I don't know, but I had to check it out. So I got a friend of mine to help me out and to get the survivor's point of view to see if the lunge itself makes any kind of difference in terms of like reaction time, speed, how it affects the red stain. But first, let me just explain what I'm actually talking about. So, when a survivor is greeting a pallet, or you are chasing a survivor around a loop and they are closing in on the pallet, there are kind of two ways to approach this. One way is to go for the standard lunge and hope that you get to hit the survivor before they drop the pallet. The other way is to do this reverse lunge, and by that I mean when you are about to lunge, you look the opposite way. So you kind of try to hide your red stain as you go around the corner. And you'll be surprised how many times that actually works. So we went to the area of crows just to get the survivor's point of view to see if there is actually any difference to the reverse lunge and a standard lunge, and anything that can affect the reaction time of the survivor. So this is the survivor's point of view with a normal lunge. And this is the survivor's point of view with a reverse lunge. Did you see any difference? Let's see that again and compare them side by side. As you can see, there seems to be a difference with the red stain, as it seems to like suddenly appear when you do the reverse lunge, rather than gradually appearing with the normal lunge. And that might give the survivors less time to react. But other than that, it doesn't seem to be much of a difference. Maybe it seems like you get a tiny speed boost just around the corner, but I'm not sure about that one. And here we have a 90-degree angle, which is a lot easier to pull off. And as you can see, the red stain is visible a lot sooner with a normal lunge than with the reverse lunge. Actually, it seems like the killer is actually visible before the red stain with the reverse lunge, and that could absolutely mean less reaction time. Okay, so I just want to show you like a few different loops and how I usually approach them when I do the lunge. And let's take Shack for an example. I don't mind that this is Shack and who greets pallets at Shack or whatnot, but this is a 90-degree angle of where we're gonna lunge, which is the easiest, and the one that you saw previously was a 180. That is a bit more difficult, or at least more difficult to get the hit in because survivors have more time to react. So let's say this is a 90 degree and you are chasing a survivor, or for some reason you know there's a survivor greeting the pallet. Kind of what you want to do is pretty early on you want to turn around and you want to swing like that. So you kind of have some knowledge about like the distance, so you don't do it too early. But it's kind of the same as like just turn around, swing like that. Because it doesn't matter where you look, as long as you walk or run in that direction, you can actually look straight behind you and still do the lunge in the right direction. So that is kind of neat and a good tip. So let's see if we can find another loop. And then we have this kind of loop that are like in the open, where you can get the survivor from both directions. And this one kind of requires more of a mind game. At least in my experience, it does help to kind of trick the survivor to thinking you are gonna go around the loop. So that means as early as possible, if you kind of know that you won't get to the survivor before they get to the pallet, you want as early as possible to just show that, okay, no, you know that you're gonna go around and just swing like that. And could go both ways. Like they are going to the pallet. Okay, you're going around, and like just go around. And that is not the easiest. And you have to be kind of quick about it, so the survivors don't have the chance to catch up and know what's going on. So as early as possible, just swing around like that. And this one has the same idea. Like you have to kind of start the mind game pretty early. Yeah, okay, you're gonna go around, but don't give them time to think. As soon as you're kind of out of vision, turn around and swing. And you will be surprised how many times that actually works. And I could show you like many different loops, but the idea is usually the same. You want to turn around from where you are actually lunging, like turn away, and you want to mind game as early as possible and give them as little time as possible to kind of orient themselves. So yeah, that's my tip on how to approach these kind of lunges. And this is the type of loop where you kind of want to do the same mind game as with the previous one. And the reason why you want to do these kind of mind games is because you do not want the survivors to pre-drop the pallets. So you kind of want to give the survivors an idea of that you are going around the loop and they have time to readjust. And then you're gonna surprise them with the reverse lunge. So in this case, if a survivor goes to that pallet, you kind of want to show that you are going around, and early enough you want to swing like that. And this is not easy because you don't have like the structure to lean on in the same way, but with practice you will kind of get it. Like you want to show and you want to time it correctly so you get the swing. And yeah, it's not easy, but if you actually have a chance of hitting the survivor, I will say it's worth taking the chance instead of like looping around and around, or just get the pallet thrown in your head. Depends on if you have hubris, then maybe you won't, but in this case you don't want survivors to pre-drop the pallets. And this is the same kind of structure that you kind of want to mind game the same way. So you're gonna pretend to go around and you're gonna back and swing. And yeah, it doesn't work all the time, and it's kind of hard at some loops to do it correctly, but I feel it's worth taking the risk of doing it. And then again, I'm not saying that this is a new trick or that this is something that no one else knows or that this is a new discovery or whatever. I just felt like I had so much success with doing these kind of lunges that it made me kind of excited about it. And that's why I wanted to share this with everyone else. And if you know about this already, then I'm sorry I wasted your time. But to those who don't do it like this, then give it a shot. You might be surprised. So I'll just wrap up this video with some final thoughts. So the question is there something to the reverse lunge? Maybe, maybe not. As you can see, there is a difference with the red stain as how it appears with the reverse lunge compared to the standard lunge. And in that sense, yes, it does make a difference. That can actually give the survivors less reaction time. But the reason why I think this kind of lunge is as effective as it is the mind game itself. By making the survivors unsure of what you're doing or where you are going, you more than often catch them off their feet, and you do this by showing clear signs that you are intending to go another way or you're intending to go around the loop, and then do the reverse lunge before they have time to react. Timing is everything in this mind game because you want to show the survivors as early as possible that you intend to go around the loop or you intend to go somewhere else. And at the same time, you want to give the survivors as little time as possible to actually react to the lunge when you hit them. Mind game too late and they will pre-drop the pallet. If you mind game way too early, they might just hold Shift W and keep going. If you lunge too early, they might see that coming and you will get the pallet dropped on your head. And if you lunge too late, you give the survivors time to readjust and you might also then get the pallet on your head. So timing is essential, and over time you will get the hang of it. And when you do get the hang of it and you do get those juicy hits in, that is when the fun begins. Does it work every time? No, and that's okay. There is a time and place for everything, and eventually you will learn when to do it, how to time it, and also which loops or objects in the game that are almost a guaranteed hit. But anyway, I just wanted to make this video because I have so much fun doing this, and I wanted to share that with you. So yeah, give it a shot, and it might be fun.